friends, Chubby Meeple here, back with another exciting review for you. Thought I would touch on a game that hasn't quite hit retail yet, but is coming soon. It was recently announced that Ninja Division acquired the rights to a couple games that had been published by Wyvern Gaming and would be looking to distribute those in the first couple quarters of 2017. So I want to talk to you about one of those games today. That game is Onami, again, published by Wyvern Gaming. It's a fun little abstract kind of area control card game. Let's jump to the table, take a look at how it plays, and I'll come back here and tell you what I think of it. Onami is actually an area control game, believe it or not. Looking at the board, it's a little hard to determine, or a little hard to believe that. But Onami is played over a board. It's a 5x5 grid of tiles, and players are going to take turns playing cards out of their hand and claiming those cards with the color. And if you're playing two players, you've got those little tokens that are black and white, very similar to Othello or Go. You'll be very familiar with those. If you're playing with more than two players, though, there is a die, and each die, there's a set of die actually, and each die in here will have a different face on it. Each player will be represented by one of these particular faces. So if you're playing in a 6-player game, one player would be the green trees, one player would be the little pink fish, and etc., to be able to determine it. So the way it works, to set up the game, you put the board in the middle of the table. In this place, we're going to set up for a 2-player game, so I put the tokens here. You can evenly divide these among the players or leave them within reach of both players. You're then going to deal the players a hand of 5 cards for a 2-player game. And then the way it's going to work is the players are going to take turns playing tokens. Now, on a player's turn, what they will do is they will literally take a card out of their hand, and the cards themselves have this really cool little artwork on it. But then in each side of the card, north, south, east, and west, you have a number value. So I've got 2 4s and 2 5s on this particular card, and I can orient this card any way that I want to play it. They don't have to be face up, facing a certain way. I just have to play it so the numbers go the direction I want to. So maybe in this case, we'll just put this one right in the middle. So I play that card there, and to indicate my turn is, and then I also claim that, we'll say I'm the white player. I put a white token on the card, and then to indicate the end of my turn, I draw a card from the deck to complete my hand. The next player in turn will do the same. So he'll take his cards over here, he'll look through, and he'll try to find a card that he can play that will let him claim. So if I play this card here, so I have a 5 at the top, 6 on the right hand side, a 2 on the bottom, and a 1 on the left. If I play this card here, now with this card, the 5 on this card is higher than the 4 on this card. So I played this card, and I'm going to claim that with my black token. I'm also going to flip this token over to the black side because I've now claimed this card as well. So there are some different abilities in the ability to claim the other cards. So that's kind of where the area control comes in. And then this player will indicate his turn by drawing his card. The next player will then come in and play a card and try to either gain his card back, try to pick it up. So I'm going to play this card so I can give you an example of something called the wave. And you'll notice on this dragon, the top number here is an 8. So if I play this in this bottom slot down here, this is going to activate what's considered a wave. And by a wave, what I mean is the 8 is bigger than the 2. So I'm going to take my typical, my white, I'm going to claim the card that I just played. And since the 8 is bigger than the 2, I can also claim this card. So I flip that over to the white. 8 minus 2 is 6, which means I can actually claim up to 6 more cards going this direction. It creates a wave, as long as the wave will stop when it reaches the end of the game board, it reaches a card I already control, or it gets to a point where it stops. So in this case, I can check to see if the wave will continue. I've got a 5 here and a 4 here, so the wave would continue. Now, if this was like a 6 or something higher than a 5 or an equal number, then the wave would get stopped. But in this case, the wave would continue, and I would claim this for the white team. And then we draw a card to indicate my turn is over and allow my opponent to go again. Play is going to progress until the entire 5x5 grid has been filled with cards. And once the last player has finished claiming whatever cards and squares he's done, because those waves can go in multiple directions. You can play, if you play a card, let's say we have a card here, so it gets played. So now we've got, that's black. This is going to be taken as well. If we play a card here that would take it, The 9's going to be bigger than the 7, so the white player would take this card here. He would also take this card. He could also, if this number was a 7 or something higher than a 6, this card could also be claimed. So you can claim cards in multiple directions. The kicker is to make sure you're paying attention, because it is, and it says this in the rule book, it is the responsibility of the player claiming cards to actually claim the cards. Your turn ends as soon as you draw that top card and add it to your hand. Once that's done, if you missed any cards, it's sorry about you, too bad. That will stay in your opponent's control. So it goes through, fills the 5x5 grid with cards, and once that's over, whoever has claimed the most cards on the grid is the winner. Obviously, in a 2-player game, there's not going to be a tie because it's a 5x5 grid. There's 25 cards that are going to play. In the event of a tie, though, it's up to you how you want to mitigate that. You can either just call it a draw, or you do have the option of playing another game among just the tied players to determine a winner. So that's Onami, published by Wyvern Gaming, soon to be distributed by Ninja Division here in Q2 of 2017. Will probably be on Ninja Division's web store sooner than that. I saw reports that it was going to hit their web store in December of 2016, yet I've not seen it pop up quite yet. But keep your eyes out if this looks interesting to you. So again, Onami, very cool little abstract card game. I really like the component quality. It's very lightweight. The board itself artistically looks really nice on the table. Playing those cards out there, I mean, the artwork on the cards, it's really well done, really nicely colored. It really fits the theme of kind of that Japanese, almost Zen-like feeling as you're playing it type. So you've got the dragons and the geishas and some of the samurai on there, giving you the feel of that feudal Japan, kind of touch to it. So I do enjoy that as well. The cards themselves, they're very, they feel good in the hand. They're easy to shuffle. They're easy to deal out and play with. They don't stick together or anything like that. They could probably be a little bit heavier, and they might even be when Ninja Division does their reprint before the re-release. I like the aspect of being able to play it just a straight 2-player game, very similar to Othello, having the black and white little chips that you can flip over based on who's capturing which card. I do like that. But then I like the fact that they stepped it up and went up to a 6-player game by introducing the dice, where everyone kind of has a symbol that represents them on the board. I did enjoy that as well. It's a very simple game, easy to teach. I mean, you saw from the walkthrough, you're dealt 5 cards, you play 1, you draw 1. It's very simple rule-wise, easy to play with younger kids. The strategy may make it a little more difficult for, really young kids in like that 7, 8-year-old range to grasp. But I could easily see 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old kids being able to grasp this and make the strategy something that they could hang on to and not be too large for them. So do enjoy that as well. I like the fact that it's got some deep strategy to it, and even though it is a simple play, there is having to strategize and figure out, hey, if I play this card here, I've got waves that'll go off in a couple different directions and grab start claiming cards in multiple directions. The ability to place one card to capture multiple cards is very cool, and when you chain something together that captures 6 or 7 cards in one play, it can be really exciting. Doesn't play very long, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes at the most, because all you're doing is filling a 5x5 grid. So in a 2-player game, 25 turns, the game's over. So I really enjoy that as well, because there's no way to remove the cards from the board or anything like that. So in 25 turns, it's game over. Whoever has the most wins, and you can reset it and do it again because it is a quick game. So I would definitely recommend checking this out if you're a fan of abstract games, if you need some more kind of light filler games that still have some strategy to them, some games you can play while you're waiting for people to show up for game night, or play something between those heavier games. Definitely give this a check. Check it out. I think it'd be worth your time to look into it a little further. Again, expected to hit retail in Q2 of 2017. May hit Ninja Division's web store sooner than that, so keep your eyes out. And again, that is Onami, originally published by Wyvern Gaming, now being distributed by Ninja Division. So again, I'm the Chubby Meeple. You guys keep gaming, and I'll see you the next time.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.